Hello, fellow aspirants. This is me, Dr. Jagdish Jagtap, and in today's podcast, we'll be talking about India Africa relations. So, instead of doing a textual presentation, we'll conduct this podcast in an image format. Like, we will talk about each country and India's interest in those countries. So, let us begin with Mozambique. So recently, our Prime Minister was in Mozambique and he signed an agreement for pulses, for the long term export of pulses from Mozambique to India. So, what we'll do in this podcast is we'll understand India's interests in each and in every country of Africa of recent occurrences and understand the global picture, that what is the competition between India and China over Africa. So, from Mozambique, we are interested in pulses. Other than amongst many things, so pulses is important. From South Africa, our interest is that South Africa is a member of NSG, that is a nuclear suppliers group. India wants to become a member, so it will require South Africa's help in this. Secondly, even South Africa is interested in UN Security Council permanent membership. So, along with South Africa, we can lobby for UN reform. Then South Africa is with us in BRICS, as also G20 and IPSA. So we have lots of common things with South Africa, like a vibrant democracy and obviously our historical connections in the form of Gandhian movements. Now let us focus upon this third country, that is Namibia. Namibia is the fourth largest producer of uranium. So we want to import uranium from Namibia. But the problem is that Namibia, along with many African countries, has signed one treaty called as Pelindaba Treaty. What this treaty says is that Pelindaba Treaty. What this treaty says is that Namibia will not export, or any African country will not export uranium to countries which are not signatories to the NPT. And since India is not signatory to the NPT, there is a problem. So what Namibia says is that you sign nuclear treaties with all of us individually for export, and then we can conveniently ignore this Pelindaba Treaty. So this is a work in progress. Moving ahead, Nigeria. We import lots of oil from Nigeria. It's a very prominent source of India's oil security. Then from Ghana, we obtain gold. From Ivory Coast, we obtain cocoa, and it is the largest exporter of cashew nuts to India. Now coming on to this region, Morocco, Algeria and Tunisia, they export phosphoric acid to India. Phosphoric acid. And this phosphoric acid is very important because we use this to manufacturing fertilizers. So our fertilizers or maybe even food security is dependent upon these countries to some extent. So we have good relations with them also. Coming here, India has recently established a naval base in Seychelles. So this will help us to control this area, like all kinds of piracy occurs because of Somali pirates, and Indian ships ply to and fro in this area. So by having a naval base here, we can control this area and protect our shipping. We have agreements with Kenya, long-term trade and energy cooperation. With Tanzania, we have a unique agreement that is called as Solar Mamas. What we do is here, we trained women engineers to manufacture and repair solar kits. So this program is called as Solar Mamas. It is immensely popular there, and it has a lot of goodwill for India. So similarly, we are involved with South Sudan. Here we conducted a Operation Sankat Mochan, because there is a lot of civil war going on over here, and we had to like remove our Indian citizens over there. And that was Operation Sankat Mochan, which we conducted over here. Similarly, we have interest in each and every country. So these are just the prominent ones and which have been recently in news. So let us move on to the next aspect, that is India's competition with China in Africa. So here let us compare. Indian trade is like only $72 billion, while China's is almost more than $200 billion. So there is no comparison over here. China is way ahead in front of us. And what China specializes in infrastructure building, like they will build up bridges, roads in a jiffy. But what they do is, suppose this is one factory where China wants to build. China will get its own workers, and then within a few years it will finish off this and then go back, take that worker back. So what India does is, Indian companies move into those parts, recruit their people, skill them, and complete the task. So this requires time, but it causes capacity building. Like once India is done with that project, the people there get the capacity to operate that project and build new ones. So India has tremendous goodwill in these countries. So this is the difference. Like China is using hard power there, we are using soft power. Apart from this, India has a lot of influence via Bollywood movies, which China sadly doesn't have. And recently we had this India-Africa forum, which stresses upon the relation between India and Africa. Our Prime Minister has visited some countries, even our President has been visited some countries, and our Vice President also. So this shows the increasing importance of Africa in our foreign relations. I hope this was helpful. Have an awesome day.